I think it purely is based upon results, Matt. And make no mistake, Tranmere are already at firefight this season. You know, this was not what was predicted by even the most doom and gloom merchants of a full-on relegation battle to stay in the 92. But that's where we are currently. You know, it's the 1st of October on Sunday. And if we get beat on Saturday and Sutton get 3 points, we're rock bottom of the Football League with 2 months of the season already gone. So there does need to be clarity on the managerial situation. But make no mistake, you know, if he gets this wrong, Mark Palios, we could lose our Football League status. That's how grave this situation is. So it's imperative that the right manager is found. He doesn't just take a punt on whoever is the cheapest, which, in my opinion, has been the case in the past. Promoting Neil Dans at this moment in time, I don't think would be the right thing to do. And I think that was a factor in why Ian Dawes probably wasn't a big success. Had Dawes had an experienced number 2 beside him, maybe it would have worked. But to be an experienced manager stepping up into the dugout and to also have an experienced number 2 and an inexperienced coach with him, he was almost set up to fail. But for me, give it the next few games. Of course, if Nigel Adkins is willing to take it for the end of the season and he's getting results, I don't see any issue with that. If he's hell-bent on returning to upstairs, then obviously Mark's going to have to look elsewhere. But he has to get this one right, because the consequences of not, we all know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is Mark's track record of managers, as we know, isn't great. So there is a lot of pressure on Craig, on what Craig says, because we get the next one wrong, given our position. Well, we all know what could happen. I mean, I think in terms of how long Adkins might get, I think October we've got quite a lot of games. I know we've got some local-ish games, Crewe and Stockport as well. More come on a Tuesday night, and then a few home games. So I wonder whether Palios might be thinking, let's review things at the end of October, see how many points we pulled up. I've still got time then, if I did need to make a change, for someone new to come in, assess the squad before January. So the last thing you want to do is have to make a change in February or just before January. So because of new managers wanting different players and wanting to keep some players and things like that. So I think, yeah, October is an opportunity. There's quite a few midweek games to pick up points, and you before you know it, we can be looking up at the table rather than where we are at the moment. So I think that's probably what he'll do, perhaps half a dozen games. See if Nigel, first of all, is Nigel enjoying it? But if he is away from his home all week, which is obviously something to consider. Are we getting results? And if we are, and Nigel's happy to carry on to the end of the season, for argument's sake, then yeah, keep it going. But if results aren't going our way, then he's going to have to make a decision. As I said before, what if results don't go our way? We've sacked Dawes, okay, and Adkins, if that doesn't work out, so we're going to have to, for the third time, change the manager. And it is really a big one to get right, because the consequences of getting it wrong are pretty dire. So let's give Nigel a month, see if Nigel's happy, see what the results are happy, see if the fans are happy, if the players are happy, then carry it forward if we can. And there's an opportunity, as I say, in October. There's a lot of games. We can use all these huge amounts of players that we've got, and then see where things lie. But it is a tense time at the moment, and Palios will be feeling the pressure, I'm sure, that if he gets the next appointment wrong, then we'll be back in the National League, which nobody can even think of.
Just very quickly, because we have had a couple of weeks to think of this. Can either of you give a name of someone that you are desperately keen to see, and a realistic name that you are desperately keen to see take the hot seat? Or are you both happy with the situation of Nigel Adkins going forward? No, I don't want a long or lengthy answer here, but just something. Is there any name that genuinely springs to mind for you?
At this moment in time, I mean, there's been you've had some guests on it that have thrown some interesting names out over the past few shows. The guy at Gateshead, is it Williamson? That's a really interesting one. And if you see the way that they play, there was a goal they scored last week, maybe, and it was just the most incredible set of build up and the amount of passing and the way that he's got them playing. And you know, if he could have come in the summer, I think that would have been a very, very interesting appointment. My worry now is that the whole sort of dynamic of the season's changed. This is now a firefight, as I mentioned before. We've got to get ourselves up the League Two table and away from that bottom two. You know, and to do that, you might not get away with playing pretty ticky-tacky football. Which means it's going to have to be sort of backs to the wall, roll your sleeves up at times. I think there will still be room to play some decent stuff, hopefully. But right this moment in time, I don't have a preference, Matt, of who I want to see in the dugout long term. I'm desperate to see us move up the league, win some games of football, and as I say, get that spectre of non-league well and truly into the dust again. Because you know where we are at this moment in time is awful. So at this moment, just anyone that can come in and improve us.